Thanks, everyone. Okay, let's get started. So the presentation is an intro to DeFi and ICON, but before I talk about DeFi and ICON, I actually wanted to talk about our contribution proposal system, which is a decentralized grant program. And it's crucial because it's funding the next generation of DeFi that's being built on ICON. So I think it's very unique, and I do want to talk about it before we lead into the DeFi projects. So next slide. Okay, so as I said, it's a decentralized grant program, which is unique. So you're probably thinking, how's it decentralized? So let me break it down. ICON's percentage of ICON's inflation is routed into to CPS, and when that happens, there's a lot of money in the pool that people can apply for. Who can apply? You got devs, you got community members, marketing initiatives. In fact, Studio Mirai, who's got this excellent setup here today, actually got a grant from CPS, and yeah, and they came here and he's making great footage. Now, how is it decentralized? Well, it is the validators that actually vote for the projects, that they will approve the funding of it. So what happens here is we've got buy-in from our validators of the network because they're registered into the grant program, and they ensure and they vet the projects that come in to apply and ask for money. So in this way, it's actually decentralized. So if some of the validators don't approve of it, these projects won't get funded. Now, as you can see, we've had over 1 million BNUSD distributed. BNUSD is our stablecoin on the ICON ecosystem that is minted with ICX. And so far, we've had 51 projects funded. Now, what is so cool about this is as time has evolved, we're seeing projects turn around and go, okay, we want money from CPS, and in turn, once we're funded and we have a live product, we will pay back a percentage back into CPS so that it will enable future projects to keep building. So it's pretty cool. It is decentralized in a way, as the validators do need to approve the projects. And here's a bit of a spin off what's been going on. So anyone and everyone can get involved, and I encourage you, if you're looking to build specifically in Java, you want to go here and get funded. So let's now jump into the DeFi aspect. So one thing I want to lead with all the ICON DeFi apps, they are foundational DeFi apps, and what is great about most of them is the tokens, their native tokens, the protocol tokens, have actually been distributed, not pre-mined in any way. They all get distributed to the actual users from day one. So people come in and use the protocol, and as a thank you, they get the native tokens. So in the case of Balanced is it mints an over-collateralized algorithmic stablecoin, even though algorithmic is a bit of a, let's not go there yet, but it is an over-collateralized stablecoin that's called BNUSD. Balanced has a AMM built into the protocol. And what's really unique about Balanced is it's kind of a merge between MakerDAO and Synthetics. So while at the moment it only mints BNUSD, if the protocol owners, who are the Balanced tokens, when they own it, decide, they could utilize minting of synthetic assets like BTC, stocks, anything, if that's the direction the protocol wants to go down. The other aspect that is really cool about it, the token itself, its value comes from protocol fees. So why do you want the token? You want it because when you stake it, you earn a percentage of the protocol fees from minting BNUSD and anything the AMM generates on Balance. So yeah, it's quite a useful token. And finally, one of the other aspects of Balanced, which I'm kind of looking at, is no, I've covered everything with Balanced, so that's great. Next up, yeah, look, and one of the other final closing points with Balanced is the UI. There's a lot of care and dedication being taken to every aspect of how you utilize the protocol from a user experience to make it very simple for them. And a lot of people that go to use it will straight away comment on it. And actually, there is one more point. Balanced and generally our DeFi protocols on ICON have one of the highest engagement rates when it comes to governance. As I said, the balanced token holders are who earn fees and of what the protocol generates. So when it comes to time to making decisions, we've got between our user base close to 500-600 people that go in and vote on every governance call. Now, to put in comparison, I actually went and checked Aave and some of the biggest protocols around. They don't have anywhere near close to that user base who actually care to go and vote in the governance section. So it's very much an engaged community and they care about the growth of the protocol. So next up, Ohm. Okay, so Ohm is a money market on ICON. Basically, you compound your Aave, okay? It's just like that. The DeFi One foundational app that, the ones that have survived this bear market, that's what Ohm is. Now, what's cool about Ohm as well is when you supply, with both the DeFi protocols, Ohm and Balance, when you supply ICX to the protocol, it is automatically staked and you're earning your staking rewards because ICON is a delegate proof of stake network. So that's one, you don't lose out on staking rewards. The second part that is really cool is you earn interest because it's a money market. So if anyone's actually going to borrow your ICX, you're earning interest on top. So that's, apart from that, money market as general. Again, the Ohm token is distributed by using the network. So if you supply, you borrow, you supply liquidity, etc., you earn the token. Recently, Ohm implemented the escrow model tokenomics, which is your boosted, where you lock up Ohm, and that impacts the distribution of Ohm to its users. Now, this is really cool because what they've done, and one of the unique features about Ohm is its protocol token impacts validators' votes. So essentially, as a rule, like if you stake Ohm, you can pick the validators your ICX gets delegated to when you go to borrow the token. When you go to borrow, if you put ICX on the platform, it allows you to delegate that to validators. So again, you've got a bunch of users that are getting in there and extremely engaged in your ecosystem because they're picking who they want their rewards to go to from a validator standpoint. Putting the boosted model in it, what that's done is you can lock up your native token for 2 weeks, 6 months, 2 years, 4 years. Naturally, the longer the lockup, the longer it gets boosted, the more rewards you get. So there's this bit of a tug of war going on at the moment for the Ohm tokens because if you lock it up for 4 years, you're getting some ridiculous interest rates on the money market. You're getting insane rates on providing liquidity. And the final part is the validators are getting triple the amount of votes they would get from normally staking ICX through using the protocol. So they've actually intertwined it to the native token of ICON from the dApp. So I haven't seen this kind of implementation anywhere, and I think it's actually quite brilliant. So it is a recent implementation that's turning, and people are starting to realize the value it's creating for if you're running validators and things like that, and opportunities that exist in ICON. So that's a bit about Ohm. What do we got next? So now, I talked about the CPS, the grant system. There was a reason for that. I was shilling it, but at the same time, these are the two projects that actually have been funded entirely by CPS, and they're on the verge of being released. And one of them is a concentrated liquidity providing, like a Uniswap 3, so you can actually have concentrated liquidity, and that specializes in that. And Karma Finance is the other one, which is a protocol-owned liquidity, one of the other sensational protocols that came out of DeFi 2.0 and survived the crash. So, and a ton of NFT projects, but I'm here talking about DeFi. So next up. Oh, yeah, this is how they look. Okay, so finally, to close it off, while we're talking DeFi, ICON is all about interoperability, and our killer feature is BTP. Now, when you think, one of the features in BTP that is being built out, and I know there's a man in the room who's going to be able to talk about this much better than me, but I wanted to give a quick overview of how this feature is going to help the DeFi protocols, the foundational DeFi protocols in ICON. So one of the big features is called the X-Call service. Now this I'm going to read a little bit because I'm learning a lot about it myself. It essentially allows you to pass any data from chain A to chain B. So some of this examples is voter intentions for governance. So this is particularly handy, and if you've got I'll give you an example. If you've got a new ecosystem coming up, a new chain, it's not EVM friendly, let's say, like standard where you can fork and just keep deploying apps. You got a popular governance tool called Snapshot. It allows communities and protocols to build their own platforms and they can vote on governance decisions. If you're a new chain and you can't integrate with it, you kind of have to build the entire thing on your chain. It takes a long time, it's hard, and it won't be priority number one. But implementing the X-Call service, which is a contract on one side, you can enable that dApp and those features to run quite quickly. So that's an example of how the vote for governance features could interact with other chains that have already built the app. Then there's the other stuff, Oracle data. I love how it says DeFi stuff. And in specific, I want to borrow X amount of USDC, so you can literally call that from the other chain instead of moving USDC via the bridge onto your chain and then using it in the protocol. It enables the DeFi apps to do it within the apps themselves. So a great example of this is... You're captivated, right? So you can see over here, a user on chain A wants to say, I want to borrow $100 BNUSD. Chain A sends a request to Balance. So in this case, this is the Balance app. This is how they've implemented it. They send the request to Balance contracts on ICON using the X-Call service. Balance doesn't need to deploy the entire protocol on every chain. All core logic remains on ICON. Basic code remains on other chains just to communicate with the X-Call service. So basically, you know how you see these deployments where you got 1 inch is great. 1 inch is on every damn chain. They've literally deployed the same dApp on everything. What we're saying here is balanced. If they wanted to call like USDC from another protocol, they could implement a contract on that side and nothing else. And then on this side, Balance automatically interacts using the X-Call service, calls the data, pulls it across, and it's done. So from the user perspective, it's a seamless experience, which is exactly what, in the conference, all I've been hearing about is user experience. That is what everyone's focusing on. So, and they've literally backtracked from 3.0 to 2.5. We're looking at Web 2.5 because they want to take the UX of Web 2.0 and try and make it as seamless as possible. And this is what this technology is going to enable for DeFi on ICON. Okay, so one of our other DeFi protocols is Optimus Finance. Now, Optimus is comparable to Earn on Ethereum and various other protocols that essentially it optimizes yield. Now, it's different to aggregation because one of the things Optimus does is it can manage your loan process on Balance and it will try to maximize a yield in terms of on Ohm where you supply and borrow stable coins on the money market. So it's quite cool, and at the moment, even though it's designed for ICON, later on, as I talk through some of the BTP functionality, you can see how Optimus will be able to capitalize on that and use that technology to go cross-chain through the application while running on ICON. So the Optimus Finance protocol brings a lot to ICON, and it will actually evolve to various chains. So I'm kind of excited when that happens and to see it happen. And yeah, that's a bit about DeFi and ICON.